Cervia is a center located at the edge of a conifer forest spanning along the northeast coast of Italy. It lies between the sea and a small-sized salt pan. The area is the residence of a great number of birds such as seagulls, black-winged stilts, avocets, herons, shelducks, and the beloved pink flamingos. As well, it is the home of extremophiles such as sea asparagus. The city is part of a constellation of towns unraveling along the coast that are known for their entertainment business, active throughout the year. The tourist industry and the rich ecosystem do not often get along. The desire to protect the unique natural environment of the region does not agree with the economic survival of its hospitality industry. Ecotourism is at odds with the development of more tourist structures, and yet these structures are needed to welcome ecotourism. In the summer 2018, I observed the strange relationships between the two words. Field recording and photo documentation revealed the daily intersection of human and non-human animals, bacteria, plants, and other objects existing in and outside the forest, on the beach, and in the salt pan. Together, they formed messy, complicated, and symbiotic ecologies. At the salt pan, I observed critters and birds getting busy and organizing their day, their chattering deafening. At the beach, I soaked in the cacophony of announcements and kids happily playing. I found salt in the sand and among the bushes, pine needles in the water, debris of construction work, and kids' toys mixed with microorganisms floating on the surface of salt formation. In May 2023, an intense weather system hit the region. Rivers flooded, submerging entire villages. Families lost their homes and businesses. The salt pan mitigated the violence of the flood and saved the city of Cervia, absorbing agricultural waste and chemicals, sewage water, thorn branches, and other waste. The salt pan was turned into a freshwater lake. With the tourist industry trying to get back on their feet before the summer season, all efforts focused on economic recovery and on primary human necessities. When would tourists swim in the sea again? When would the salt pan be rebuilt? I went back to Cervia to document the aftermath of the flood. The still undrained freshwater lake hosted many birds already. However, how many of them had perished? How many eggs had been lost in the flood? How many small crustaceans and microorganisms had been poisoned by the bacteria-ridden sewage water that had poured into the newly formed lake? There are no data to document such loss. Economic damages, such as those to homeowners or companies, are well documented because they are quantifiable and are favorite of short-sighted political agendas. Damage to animals, microfauna, and natural areas receive far less attention. Without studies at a multi-scale levels and any consideration of the many overlapping factors and actors involved in the crisis, it is neither possible to assess the immediate damage nor to make plans for long-term strategies of resilience. Amitav Ghosh observes that freak events, flash storms, and other sudden shifts in the weather have become a frequent occurrence in many parts of the world. However, our cultural and economic system is unable to adapt to this new normal. The resulting loss of perceived control translates into an inability to cope and even to speak of it. Our storytelling traditions are not prepared to deal with it. We are stuck in an infinite loop of empty rhetoric and wishful thinking. In October 2024, another bizarre weather system hit some of the same region. Once again, villages went underwater, businesses were lost, the natural environment invisibly transformed. But this time, when interviewed, some of the victims were no longer demanding a rebuild. We cannot go back to a pristine state, they said. How do we make peace with the plants, the environment, the animals? How do we create a dialogue across cultures, across waters, across histories, so that we can look ahead and find resilience?